During the school year, you're in survival mode, trying to keep your GPA up, homework, exams, club meetings, tests, all that stuff, and you barely have the time to breathe, let alone make any real progress on your extracurriculars. And you guys probably already know, extracurriculars is one of the biggest parts of your entire application. And then finally, when senior year hits, you're juggling your GPA, your essays, and then your rec letters, and trying not to lose your mind with senioritis as second semester comes up. And this is exactly why summer is your separation season. And just to be clear, this is the exact timeline we follow with our private clients at Inspirate Consulting. These are the same students that have earned acceptances into Stanford, Yale, Caltech, Harvard, Princeton, MIT, UC Berkeley, you name it. And that's because this isn't theory, and this is not something I'm just making just off the top of my head, right? This is exactly how real students have built real results, even against the most competitive admissions odds, especially in 2025, leading up to 2026. So today I'm gonna break down exactly what you should be doing during the summer of each and every grade. So from freshman, sophomore, junior year, so that you give yourself the highest possible shot at elite colleges. The very first summer in high school is after your freshman year. Now, hopefully you did well GPA-wise, but now that it's summer, it's actually time to go out there and see what intrigues you and interests you. And honestly, if you're watching this as a freshman, you're doing much better than 95% of your class. Most students don't even think about college until junior year, and by then it's a little too late, right? So you're giving yourself a massive edge and overall just breathing room by starting early. But let's also be real, you're not supposed to have huge extracurriculars right now. I don't expect ninth graders heading into sophomore year to have research experience or internships, multi-million-dollar startups. You don't have the skills or even just the time to gain the experience yet, and that's perfectly fine. The biggest mistake that I see freshmen make is thinking that they need to immediately land these high-level opportunities. But the truth is that those big opportunities that you're thinking of now only open up if you've built the skills to make yourself valuable later. What you want to do is leverage the current things you have for future opportunities, and then leverage that future opportunity once you get there to then go to the next big opportunity. So if you're curious about AI, start learning Python, play with simple models, right? Get familiar with the basics. If you're into business, learn like, I don't know, social media marketing or digital marketing, video editing, design, or basic finance, right? Because this exploration phase creates perspective, because you don't need to commit to your life passion right now, but you do need to start testing the water so that you're not 17 years old with no idea what you enjoy. So let me be clear, you're not expected to produce or build or create anything right now. This is not your build a nonprofit phase. This is your acquire valuable skills phase. The better your skills become, the more doors will open for you automatically down the line. Now, sophomore summer, this is the building and leveraging phase. This is when we take advantage of the time we spent before in freshman summer to now start building, creating, okay? A lot of students panic because they see juniors or seniors with massive research internships or national awards, and they think, okay, why don't I have anything like that? How am I supposed to get to that point? But what you're not seeing is that most of those opportunities only open, and they were able to get to that point because those students built up skills over time. So if you already have an area of interest, you could start a personal project now, or you could build a small website or an app or a service. You could even do independent research with a teacher or a professor that you might know, right? Take advantage of the resources around you. And this summer is also when you begin your SAT or ACT prep. Now, but the reason why I want you to do it during sophomore summer is pretty simple. First is you have the most time now. You're not gonna be buried under essay writing or senior year pressure, especially during that junior summer when you have to write all your personal statements, UC PIQs, supplemental essays, all that stuff, right? And early testing means one less stressor in junior year. Now, even if you're not fully finished with your SAT or ACT by the end of sophomore year, you'll have built the foundation to crush it in early junior year. And that frees up massive bandwidth for your actual applications later. Now, this doesn't mean to take 4, 5, 6, 7 SATs or ACTs. Please do not take that many. I would say around 3, maybe 4 is the max. You wanna make sure that you put in a lot of time and effort into practicing before, kind of wasting all your chances there. Now, junior summer, this is the execution phase. This summer is really what makes or breaks your entire application because of that essay factor. At this point, your coursework is pretty much done, right? Your skills are built, your early extracurricular projects have good momentum, and your test score should mostly be handled by now. So this summer, it's time to work on your essays, especially if you're applying to those top 20, 30 schools that have these supplemental essays. Because the goal here should be entering senior year with around 70 to 80% of your essays done, ideally. Because once school starts again, you'll be slammed with the classes, your club stuff, chasing teachers for letters of recommendations, senior year GPA pressure, and senioritis. Your goal by the end of junior summer is your Common App personal statement essay should be done. UC PIQs should be done if applicable. I mean, if you're going to apply to UC schools, and then your supplemental essays for your main schools that you're applying early to should be mostly done, I would say, right? And if you want help on these, we have the Inspirate Consulting program with the first link in the description. We help with all of your essays with unlimited essay feedback. So that's pretty much the best option out there. Obviously, I'm biased, but just check it out if you guys are seriously interested. The entire goal is simple. You're trying to leave this summer with essays that work in a clear strategy going into senior year. Now, some students kind of come to me worried about their extracurricular activities because they feel late, not having those big name extracurriculars yet. But the reality is that you're only late if you expect big results before you've built the skills and signals to attract, right? It wouldn't make sense for a freshman that just came out of middle school that has no experience, no interest, or no skills at all to suddenly just get research experience, unless their dad is like part of that entire research facility or something like that, right? So first, instead of trying to go directly to the big projects and big extracurriculars out there, build the skills, the experience, maybe even smaller versions of what you want to do in the future to then leverage that down the line. Every phase builds on the last one that comes before it, right? Freshman is building your skills to build leverage, and then sophomore year is to show your early signals with your small projects, and of course the SAT or ACT, and then junior year is that time to actually execute. So these are the essays, the other application parts of it like extracurriculars, right? And I don't want you to try and skip these steps, right? Don't panic, just look at the chronological step, the logical step of what it would look like to get to that ultimate goal of whatever extracurricular you're thinking about. Because when you build early like this, you're not scrambling in junior or senior year trying to be like, hey, oh my gosh, I have to find an internship, I have to find a research opportunity. You already know that the things you've done in the past will eventually logically lead up to that position, right? And if you ever feel behind, just know that success isn't privilege, success isn't luck, and success is skill compounded over time. And this applies to high school, this applies to college, this applies to life. And this is more kind of like an overall life lesson type of thing, but I feel like it would be really well applied within the process of college admissions. So I want to make this video today. But even when you build your plan, even when you start early, sometimes it might feel like everyone else is way ahead of you. And I totally understand that, right? You scroll through Reddit, Discord, YouTube, all that stuff, and it feels like everyone already has these research opportunities, internships, perfect scores, and even national awards. But that's not your reality, right? And the truth is that most people aren't ahead of you. They're just louder. And that's exactly what I break down in my video right here. So inside there, I'll show you why comparison is broken, how college admissions creates fake pressure, and why your timeline is probably better than you might think. So if you haven't seen it, click here. But if not, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.